Hi guys, in this video I just want to go over another strategy for conditional formatting, and what I'm first going to do is I'm going to remove this rule that I have for the CMJ and we're going to apply a different one. It's going to be a tedious process. That's because we have multiple groups. If you don't have multiple groups, it won't be. Let's delete those rules. Now, one thing that you might want to do is to set up a legend or a key, and I know I have a friend that does it like this, and he has specific criteria for 3 different categories, and he wants them to be color-coded based on these categories per metric. So he has certain values that he cares about. These aren't his values or his tests, but this is kind of the framework that he uses. So I created a legend of sorts, and I can refer to this legend in my, just like we were referring to our score panel in the other one for my conditional formatting. And then anything I adjust in here will be adjusted in my conditional formatting. So the first rule that I'm going to do is I'm going to say if, and we're going to say the group, which is D12, if and D12 equals, and I'm just going to say U18 because, no, fine, I'll just, if that equals the legend up here, and I'm going to lock that in, that equals whatever's up there, because these groups should stay consistent throughout, comma, and also, let's go back to our team plan, this, or H12, and I'm going to go H12, lock in the row, equals, or let's say is greater than this value, and let's lock that in too. If those two things are true, true, comma, false. So now, if I drag this down, we should get anyone that is in the U18 group that has a value greater than the one that I set as true, and everyone else to be false. And if I copy this formula and paste it next door, and now instead of legend B4, I'm going to find out what that is, and instead of legend B5, I got to find out what that is. So it's legend D4 and legend D5, and I'm going to change this now. So let's go to D4 and D5. Now this is doing the same thing for the U20 group, and I can drag this down. But now we have some other stuff too. So let's just say U18, U20. Now we have 3 different categories. So the next one, I'm going to paste U18 again and copy and paste this formula again. There's more than 2 criteria. First of all, we don't care about greater than or equal to. We actually want the value to be less than or equal or greater than. We need it to be less than or equal to legend B5, and also, comma, H12 has to be greater than whatever is beneath it, which is right here. Now let's lock that in, and I'll click enter. So now no one that's true here should be true here if I drag it down. It looks like we only have one true guy that's between those ranges. I mean, it's a pretty narrow range. There are a couple. So that works, and that's the in-betweeners. And if we go to the U20s, we can copy this formula again, and we already know that we replace B with D. So we say D, D, and D, and you could even do a find replace if you wanted to. So now these are the people that fit in the U20 ranges, the middle ranges. And now finally, we can do the end range. I'll copy those, paste them over. We can copy this, or maybe we copy the first one because it's easier. Paste it here. And now we need to think about, instead of legend B5, it's probably going to be legend B7 because we're going down one every time. So, yep, so now we're looking for people that are, actually we're looking for people between legend B6 and legend B7. So I'm actually going to copy this one instead. So instead of less than or equal to legend B5, we want less than or equal to legend B6 and greater than legend B7. And maybe this is greater than or equal to. Doesn't really matter. It's kind of whatever you want. And I'll click enter, and I'll paste that, copy that, paste that here. Instead of legend B7 now and B6, we're going to the Ds. Let's make them all Ds. So this is the U20 group. And we can drag these formulae down. And now we should have everybody covered aside from the people that are below the range that we want them to be in. So if we want to copy this formatting here, I don't know exactly what it's going to be, but we can do, let's just start with this cell here. We'll go new rule. Or before I do that, let's copy the U18 group. So let's copy that. Go here, let's go new rule. Let's go to our formula and let's paste in what we have here. We know it works. And I'll make the formatting what it's supposed to be. Font, let's say white and bold because they're elite apparently. Now that's one rule, and we can do it again. New. Oh, first we should copy our formula. Copy this here. Go to our conditional formatting. Do a new rule. Sorry if I'm going fast. We kind of did this already. And I'll paste it here. And go to format, and I'm going to format it the same way. Bold, white. The fill will be this. And I'm probably going to change all these fill colors, but at least to start, we get it. We get all of our formulae in. And then we can do another new rule. Oh yeah, keep on forgetting. And we're just copying our formulae that work and pasting them in here and setting the formatting appropriately. So I'm going to new rule, paste my format in, make this silver because I think that's what the formatting calls for. Click OK. And another new rule. Oh, I gotta copy the U20 formatting. Or the U20 rule. New rule. Copy that in. And let's make it the same silver. And finally, the last two rules, which are the bronze category and what we were looking at. Let's go to new. And let's go to here and paste in our formula, and let's make this, I don't know what bronze will look like. I have color codes that I'll use. That'll be bronze for now. Let's go another new rule for the U20s. And notice this person's not getting colored at all because he doesn't fit in any of these categories. He's actually below all the criteria that we set. So I'm going to paste this in here. And again, change that to be the same kind of bronze color that I did before. And now I'm going to go to manage rules. Here are all my rules. And I want to just do it for this selection. Here are all my colors. I'm going to change these colors now to go based on what I have here. So I'm going to just check what this color code is. So I can go to more colors. This is what it is. Just so I'm consistent. And I can go back here, go to my manage rules, go to my H12, or it's easier if I go to this selection, it'll just narrow it down to that. And double click on it, go to format again. This is, go to more colors, and we can just paste in whatever that is, and now it should change. Okay, and let's do it again here. Sorry again if I'm going fast, I'm just changing colors to the color code that I want. And I'm going to do that for actually the bronze ones too. So I'm going to click OK. And let's go to my legend. I'm going to click on the color, go to more colors, and it'll show me the color code. I'll copy it, go back to my team plan, go to my manage rules, and go to my bronze colors that I have here, which don't actually look like bronze. Go to more fill colors, paste that in. Okay, and let's do the same thing here. Format, more colors, and let's paste that in here. Okay. So now let's say that we have all of our colors for this metric. That's what we pulled into here. I clicked apply. Now I can copy this, and I'm going to paste it to all these other ones. And when I do that, now my criteria are applied to all these cells. And you know, maybe that silver color really isn't dark enough. For me at least, I just did undo. Now I'm going to go to manage rules again. I'm just going to make this a little bit darker. Let's do that. Because silver is pretty good. I mean, it's better than bronze. Maybe I make bronze a little bit lighter. So silver, and then bronze maybe. I'm just going to change it again. Sorry. Let's go here. A little bit lighter. I'm really nitpicky about this stuff, but this is it. I'm not going to change it again. Let's do that. Okay. Apply. And now I need to copy. So when we're in here, remember I undid that. So this is only applied to H12. So I need to copy this cell and apply the formatting all throughout here. And now I have my gold, bronze. I mean, it looks weird because of the colors that I have in here, but I have my gold, silver, bronze categories. And if I wanted to apply these formulae to these, I could do the exact same thing that I did here. Probably the quickest way is to know what I'm exchanging and just do a quick exchange. So legend B4 and B5, legend D4 and D5, and 6, like just knowing what to replace with one another. So for example, here legend B4 is the same for us as B10, B6, and B7 are B11, B12, etc. So maybe I'll just do one more to show how to do it. Let's go. Let's select all of our formulae here. Find, replace. We're gonna go change B4 for. Or actually, we can just do 4 because everything else is the same. So 4 is 7, I believe. No, let's just make sure that we're right here. 4 is nope, sorry. 5 is 10. So let's go here, find, replace. 5 for 10. Place all those. And let's go 6 for 11. And 7 for 12. And all we have to do is change H12 now to I12 because that's our, or just change H for I because that's the new metric that we're looking at. So change H to I. Let's do that. Now we got some trues and falses, and we just do the same thing over again. And I'm going to do it just because we can. So again, I know it's a little bit of a tedious process, but this is kind of what you got to do if you want it to be manipulatable and you want to be very specific. A much quicker way would just be to, if you didn't care very much, maybe I'll do it this way first, is I could select all these values, right? And I could say I want them to be on a color scale, and I'll just pick one for now. And then I can manage the rules of this color scale and say I want the lowest value to be whatever that bronze-like color is, the middle value, or maybe I have a number, to be whatever that gray color is, and then another number to be whatever that gold color is. It's a little bit lighter, I don't know. And instead of writing numbers in here, I can go here, set a number 0, I'll go to the legend, and I'll click this. However, when we do this, we cannot accommodate for groups, so that's a problem. I can do that, and the middle value, I'm just using the U18 group as an example. I can do that, and then I can set the max value as this. And if I do it that way, and I also can adjust the font color, but that's something else. I apply that. Now we're going to have a color range kind of based on those values, but again, we're not accommodating for the group. So I'm going to undo those, and I'm going to go through the broad jump one now. We already did the formulae. We used find and replace to adjust, and I'm going to start with one cell, say new rule, paste that, and it should, the background color, oh, I actually don't like how it does this. Really don't like how it does this. You know what I might do? copy all this formatting that we have here, and let's paste it here. Now, we have to change some things, but I don't want to redo the colors. So if I go to Manage Rules and manage the selection, when I do this, what I can do is I can just change the formulae that apply. So I actually should delete. Oh, that's fine. It's a little bit repetitive, but let me try this first. So you'll notice that if I select all these cells and I go to current selection, we have H13 to H61, and then we have H12 on its own. What we can do here is we can change H13 to H12, H13 to H12, so that there's just one big range. I probably should have done this to begin with, instead of doing one at a time, or do the first cell first. Go to H12, and let's go to H12, and then what we can do is we can delete this, and we can delete all the H12 rules specifically. And I'll apply that. Nothing will change. I'll click OK, and let me just manage these rules and delete them. All the cells in the eye, and click OK. Now I'm going to select all these now, and I'm going to copy and paste the formatting in, and now I'm going to look in here for my U18, copy that, and remember this is the gold group, so I'm going to go to Manage Rules. I should just do this selection because it's easier, and we can paste that in there. Click OK, and OK, and then we'll do this one for the U20s. Again, sorry that I'm going fast. Manage Rules, and we'll go to the next one. If I just want to go to current selection. Change that. Equal signs. Apply. And we'll go to the next one. Remember, this is silver. This is silver. I have to keep on going back to current selection. I'm doing the bottom one, then the top one. That's my routine right now, so so we don't get lost. Paste it. So now it's time for the top one. That is the U20s. I'll copy that. Manage Rules. The top one. Let's paste that in. Okay, apply. And now we're going to do the U18's bronze. I'll select all this stuff. Manage Rules. Let's go to the current selection. And I'll do the bottom one first, just like I've been doing. We got to remove everything that's in here. That's about to kind of jump. Paste in what we have. OK. Apply. And the last one, U20s. Copy this. If you get good at this, it's not going to take very long. And then the top one, replace that with that. OK, and apply. Alright, so now I've made my changes, and I have two variables now that have my criteria in them. And we can check this if we want, if we don't believe it. So let's just check this guy. He's a U20 and he has a score of 108. If I go to my legend, U20 and a score of 108 is between these two numbers. He should be silver, and he is. Now let's check a U20 that's greater than 110. So a U20, he's at 110, he's not greater than it. That's a U18. U20 that's greater than 110, and we get what we're looking for. And the last thing that we should do here, and I should have done this to begin with, which we should do with all of the things, is do another new rule here and say values that are cells that contain blanks we don't want to format, and then go to manage rules and do the same thing that we did before, where stop if true, make sure it's at the top. Okay, now a blank cell is not going to be formatted, and we're going to do the same thing here. Select all this, new rule, and cells that contain blanks. This should be the first thing that you do probably if you don't want blanks to be formatted, and go OK, and go to manage rules. Again, let's stop that if it's true so that nothing else happens, and click OK. So this is kind of the similar process to what we did before, where let's say that, you know what, there looks like there's a lot of gold here. Maybe we want to set the thresholds a little bit lower for the broad jump. If I go to my legend now and I say, you know what, this is going to be 95, 90, 85. This is going to be 100, 95, 90. Oops, well that's actually the other way around. So I want this to be 105, and I want this to be 110, I want this to be 100, I want this to be 95, and I want this to be 105 and 100. I don't remember if that was what it was before. Maybe I'll go higher. 120, 110, 100, and we'll go 110, 100, 90. I don't know. Now if we go back to the team plan, notice the colors are all different because of the criteria that we set for the broad jump now. So we essentially have a control panel for our color scheme here based on the categories that we set, and you can do that. So I hope that this video was helpful. What I'm going to do is I'm going to apply this type of formatting to all these variables in the interim. I'm going to use this strategy that I did before, and I'm going to do it for all my variables, and that's going to be kind of my formatting scheme. And it's not going to make sense because U18 should be doing worse than U20s, but I randomized all the data and they're pretty much equal cohorts. But when you come back to the next video, everything's going to be formatted consistently. And again, you'll be provided with each file at every step of this. So if you want to look at the formulae and how it's all done, you can do that. And then in the video after this, what we're going to start doing is we're going to create some drop-down lists for our dates and group selectors and event selectors, and I think that we're going to start creating graphs for what we want to see. And yeah, so great work so far, and I'll see you in the next video. So I haven't shown you how to do lower is better, and the rest of our metrics are lower is better. They're times, body fats. Yeah, there's times and body fats, and we're not doing anything with screening for right now. So what we're going to do is instead of saying greater than our lowest number to be gold, we want it to be less than our lowest number to be gold. And for silver, instead of being less than or equal to our highest number and greater than our second highest number, we just want to flip this around. So it's got to be greater than or equal to our lowest number that we set, and it's less than the one above that. So let's just flip that around. So this is going to be greater than or equal to and less than. And then finally, for the last category, we can do the same thing. So it's going to be less than or equal to our second lowest number and greater than or less than or equal to our highest number. So click enter, and we just got to do that again here. Less than or equal to and greater than or equal to. That's the first step, and then the rest of the process remains the same. And maybe it's a good recap on how I do that, at least, is so I just do a lot of find and replaces. So if I go to my legend, I'm replacing pretty much the category prior, which is 44, 45, 46, with the next category, which is 49, 50, 51. So we're doing 44 for 49, then it's kind of plus 1 from there. So I'd select all these, go to 44 to 49, then 45 to 50, and 46 to 51. And then the last thing that I need to do is, instead of looking in Q, we need to look in R. So for our value. So instead of Q, let's change this to R. Let's replace those, and let's drag this down. How our trues and falses change. And what we can quickly assess, let's just sort this from smallest to largest. It's interesting that this person, P is. So this person falls without the range for the U18 category. Maybe, or no, they're in it. Yep, so this looks good because lower numbers are in these categories and moderate numbers are mostly in these categories. And maybe if we just set these to be the same numbers, 22.5 and 23. I don't really know. If we do that, then lower numbers should be here, and they are. We only have one guy that's less than 22 seconds, and then moderate numbers will fall in here, and then eventually we get to lower numbers, which is greater than or equal to 22.5, and then eventually at a certain point we'll have all falses, someone that falls out of the 23-second range. So I'm still going to copy the formatting and paste it to all these cells. I'm just going to change our formula in it. So I'm going to go to manage. I'm going to first copy this formula, which I have been doing. I'll manage rules, go to my first gold one, and replace it with that formula. And let's apply that. Click OK. Now our second one here, I'm going to go to manage rules, go to our second gold formula, paste that in here, and then I'll go to our first silver formula with the next one. I just copied the formula and this worksheet, the first gold one or silver one, paste that in, apply that, and our second silver one, copied it, manage rules, go to this worksheet and paste it in. And finally, we get to our bronze ones. Again, this worksheet, we'll go to, I want to be consistent, go to the first one. And finally, the last bronze one here, copy that and manage rules, go to the worksheet and go to our last one here, and we'll paste that in. And now the last thing that I need to do is I want this to be a number with decimals. And we sorted it by time already, so that follows what we would expect. So that's great. And if we change, again, if we change this, I don't know, maybe these times are a little bit too high, so it's, or too low, so let's say 22.5, 20, I'll say 23, 22.5, there we go, 22.75, and 23, and maybe this is 23.25, and 23.5, I don't really know. But now if we go back to our theme plan, we'll have some different colors there. And the reason why these are now differently colored is because we have different ranges in our categories. So that's that, and I guess I'll do one more just in case you want to see it, although you don't have to. Just showing you how to apply this again. All we're doing is we're going to do the find replace thing that we did before. So go in here. I got 49, and I'm replacing it with 54. So go in here. Let's look at that. Let's go 49 with 54. Replace those. Then 50 with 55. And 51 with 56. Remember, I am going to be providing you with this file, so don't worry about that. And R12 to S, or R to S, so we're going to change from R to S. And we already dealt with our the directionality of our equation, so I can drag that down. And now I just do the same thing that I did. I'll copy the formatting, I'll paste it in this body fat column, and I'll have to readjust the formatting of body fat, and maybe I just do that now. So the way that we do body fat, or the way that I do it, is with a custom formula. It's 0.0 with a quote and then a parenthesis sign. Because if it was formatted as an actual percentage or a decimal, like 0.08 would be 8%, then we could format it as a percentage, but we did not input it that way. So click enter. And now I'll deal with the conditional formatting the same way that I have done. Copy that. Manage rules, and remember this is S to S, that's what we're looking for here. So the first gold one, let's replace it. Then the second gold one, manage rules, and replace it. And what I'm doing to get out of this stuff, so I'm clicking OK, OK, and then when I copy this formula, I'm clicking escape, clicking on the cell, go to formatting, manage rules, double clicking in here, clicking there, it automatically selects it, backspace, Control V to paste, and do that. That's my strategy. I'm sure that there's a faster way or a different way that's a little bit quicker. And I'm just going to paste it, and that's it. Now our last two, copy that. If you click on the cell, it'll show the rules. If you don't, which I do oftentimes, I just have to select this worksheet or this table, which is like I'll do it right now. So I'll copy that, click escape, manage rules. Oh, well, go to this worksheet, and let's paste that in. Click OK, apply. So now what we should have is our body fat percentages. And it looks like my range is probably a little bit, a little bit too strict, and I can change that too. So maybe this is 9 and 8.5 and 10.5 and 12.5. I don't really know. 9, 11, 13. If we do that, we should have a couple different values. Yeah, I get two now in that category. I probably need to make it even higher. So 9.5, 9, 11. Let's go 12.5, and let's go 9 to 10.5 to 12. Okay. Yeah, so now we get a couple of gold numbers, and that's up to you. That's one of the benefits of doing it this way. So I hope that's helpful. I'm gonna pause the video now and keep on cruising through the speed stuff. And again, you'll get this file, so don't worry about it. Alright guys, now that's it for this video. And you probably didn't get anything out of the last little bit, but overall it took me 40 minutes to do all of the modifications for my conditional formatting perspective. And in the next video, again, we're going to add some drop-down lists, and I'm probably going to deal with some more conditional formatting with the statuses here. And yeah, I don't know still how I feel about not having the categories need to be different in some way. So I'm not really sure how to go about that, where I really need these overall categories to stand out somehow. So as long as we can accomplish that, then we're fine. Normally I do conditional formatting differently based on the category score and the scores within it. I didn't do that here. I may decide to change it. I don't know. But in any case, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.